Hello everyone. In this tutorial I'll be showing how to build a while loop and also a do-while loop. The difference between the two is that a while loop checks an if statement before it actually executes the loop, and the do-while loop runs whatever's inside of the loop once before checking the if statement. So I'll show you how to do that. But basically a while and a do-while loop, they basically run a loop infinitely, and so you can do something like, for example, while true, which is a statement that will run forever. If I run that, it will run forever, and there is no stopping it until you close the program, of course. So they're very useful, especially in game development. In fact, the Unreal Engine, if you're looking at the basal portions of the Unreal Engine, if in order to get your program to run and to get like your character doing all this stuff, it uses while loops all the time. The tick statement is a while loop. In order to get the window to open and then continue to be open until you're done with the game, that's also a while loop. If it was just a constant if statement, it would not run forever like this, unless they were clever, of course. So while loops are very useful, and so this is how you do it. Type in while, and then whatever is in here is your if statement. So actually, I'm going to make one where it's going to be just a simple counter. So int count, and I'll set that to 0. So while the count is less than 50, while count is less than 50, so this is true. Count, not cout. If count is less than 50, so it starts with 0, let's do counting, and then also spit out what the actual number that is counting, and end line. So I'll say counting 0, counting 1, counting 2, and then we'll do count. There's two ways that you can increment the this integer over here. You can do count equals count plus 1, or you could use the incremental thing, which is plus equals, like that. They both mean the same thing. So this will add 1 to this, and then when this becomes 1, it'll add 1 to that, so it becomes 2, so on and so forth. Then let's write something on the exit that says like done, so that we know. Okay, so this should work. Let's try it. Notice how it did it really fast, because this is going as fast as the computer's clock is going. If you want it to go slower, you can add a delay or something like that. But notice that it basically did this looping statement where it counted from 0 to 50. And if we wanted it longer, then we can add a couple zeros, and it'll take a little bit longer. Ding. So it just counted to 5,000 real quick. Notice here that it actually did not count to 5,000. The reason why is because we're starting on 0. If we actually wanted to count the 5,000, we need to add 1 to it. So 5,001. Or you could say if it's less than or equal to 5,000, then it will go all the way up and include the 5,000. So that's a while loop. Notice that it needed that. So if we made this, let's say 5,001, it would skip over this loop altogether, because this, just the standard while loop, checks this if statement beforehand. Now if we made it a do-while loop, and by doing it all we need to do is this, where we stick the while on the bottom, and on the top we type in do. So that now becomes a do-while loop. And then at the end you put a little semicolon. So this is a do-while loop. It will run this counting first. Notice that this while statement is going to return false, yet it will still show that 501 because it does the loop once and then checks afterwards. And you can do literally the same thing as before. So if it's 0, it'll do the whole shebang until it gets to 5,000. So that is a do-while loop and a while loop. They're very useful, especially with getting something to run infinitely, or to get something to run in really an indeterminable amount of times. There's another type of loop called a for loop, which is if you know how many times you want a loop to run, that's really the loop of choice. If you are following the playlist for the procedural generation, I was actually using a for loop to do that in Blueprints, and so yeah, that's that. All right. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.